Hey everybody, welcome to the Intel Report. Today is 1/21/2021 and it's 1:05. Isn't that interesting? In the morning. This article comes from the Washington Post, January 21st, and it reads, Biden orders a pause on the border wall construction, bringing crews to a halt. Isn't that interesting? Construction crews building the steel wall along the U.S.-Mexico border were ordered to a halt Wednesday after President Biden delivered on a campaign promise and hit pause on the Trump administration signature infrastructure project. Biden's presidential proclamation rescinded the national emergency declaration used by President Donald Trump to divert about $10 billion from Defense Department accounts across the barrier, one of the costliest federal infrastructure projects in U.S. history. It directs private contractors to stop work as soon as possible, but in no case later than 7 days. So they got can make it work for 7 days, but all right. While launching a full assessment of the project to determine whether its funding sources are legal and whether they can be allocated elsewhere, it shall be the policy of my administration that no more American taxpayer dollars be diverted to construction or border wall. Biden's proclamation states, I am also directing a careful review of all resources appropriated or redirected to construct a southern border wall. The proclamation also directs federal agencies to formulate a plan within 60 days to redirect border wall funds and resume, modify, or terminate segments of the structure that remain under construction. Very interesting. The Trump administration completed, listen to this, 455 miles of new barriers along the Mexico boundary, an undertaking whose main achievement was the replacement of smaller, more permeable anti-vehicle barriers with imposing 30-foot tall steel bars. It's pretty tall, huh? 30-foot tall. Many of the segments that remain unfinished are in South Texas. So South Texas, you got some work to do over there. Where much of the land of which the government seeks to build is privately held along the Rio Grande winding course. The funding appropriated by Congress since 2008 is enough to pay for 298 miles of barrier, about 71 miles of which had been completed according to the latest U.S. Customs and Border Project's figures. So they got enough to do another 298 miles. But they just said stop. That would be potentially oblige the Biden administration to complete up to 227 additional miles of border wall in one indication that some of those projects may go forward. Biden's proclamation also for the expenditure of any funds that the Congress expressly appropriated for wall construction consistent with their appropriated purpose. Biden made a campaign pledge to not build another foot of barrier, but he could also opt to allow construction contractors to finish installing roadways, gates, sensors, and other elements of the project. So, they could still work at it, just not the wall. A spokesman of the Biden transition team declined to provide additional details about the contract reviewed and paused. CBP officials referred inquiries to the White House. All right. The cost of keeping work crews idle while the pause is in effect was not immediately clear. All right, so I'm not going to read any more on this because I read it one other time. It's a pretty long read, but they talk about how the families in the wall and how the families in the area that live in the area, how the government is seizing some of the property in order to build the wall, as well as they talk about the actual not only is the government seizing the property, or has been seizing the property, but how bad the wall looks, and also how the people in the area don't like it. But that's what the rest of the article is talking about. But I just wanted to give you some brief information on what's going on and how what's going on, how long we learned a lot here, and there's more to come. Stay tuned. Please subscribe, and thank you for listening. Peace.